Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I just did, y'all. Hoorah! Dr. Minister Vermont Princ for the Institut. What's up, people? What's up, sexy? What's up, lovely? What's up, lovies? What's good? What's good, family? Okay, back with another video of Naked Church. And as y'all know, we do Naked Church because it's the natural way of being. Nothing to do with perversion, nothing to do with freakiness, nothing like that. It's just all about sexuality. And it's about being in tune with the divine. So the sunlight can hit your skin. So the air can hit your skin and give you that water, that moisture, the light, air, water, law. Yeah, that's what it's about. So, the video I did, I'm talking to, right now I'm on Facebook. I'm talking to Facebook right now, live. What happened is the video I just did cut off, so I'm starting another one. This is the one that I'm talking, that you just heard me do, is the intro for Facebook, is for YouTube, and I shared to Facebook. Okay, anywho, get into this imagination. This is all about the imagination. The imagination. You got to break down the word. First two letters, I am. I am. If you know the science behind the ancient name of God, when Moses went and said, who should I tell the people of Israel that you are, the children of Israel, that who you are? And according to the scripture, God said, tell them that I am that I am. I am that T-H-A-T, I am. It means to tell them I am who I am. That's it. Like, it don't get no deeper than that. Like, the deeper, I can't even define myself. I'm it. I'm just that existence. I'm the ultimate thing that you've been looking for. So in the beginning with the imagination, you already start with the I am. You know, I'm that existence, the ultimate source of what you've been looking for. Okay? All right, cool. Then we're gonna space it out a little bit. So then, first of all, before we get to the I am, you get to the I. The letter I, the self. You know, awareness of of you as the data being that you are. You. That's I. I is also I-Y-I. I mean I-Y-E. That's an I. E-Y-E. Which is, you know, mental. Man is mind, the universe is mental. That's the first law in the Kabbalion. It's talking about that. When it's talking about the I, it's talking about the mental, that awareness. Okay, then you get to the I am. Boom. So it's letting you know that you are all mental, you are all data, you are all information. You're not really a person. You are a person. We broke that down on IG. Per son, break per and son down. Per is each, and son is short for sonic. Each sonic, each sound. You are just a tone, a frequency. You're a data. We are all data. That's what we are. Okay, so then you got to get to Magi. M-A-G-I, Magi. In the ancient times, they refer to the Magi. When they say the three wise men came to Jesus, the three astrologers, it's all, before they were saying wise men and astrologers, they were calling them Magi. And Magi does not really mean wise ones. They say it means wise and stuff like that, but that's not really what it means. It really means that master who is learned in the secrets of the universe, of this matrix, how this matrix works, and how to manipulate it, how to bend sound, how to make sound, not bend sound, make sound work into its or her or his advantage. That's really what my guy is. I'm trying not to move so much. I be like looking at lives and I be all over. I be walking dumb fast, spinning in a circle, going crazy. So I'm trying to like really calm it down. Okay, so we have the Magi. So you have I'm Magi. You have the I realize I exist. Boom, I am here. I am data. Okay, now what kind of data and when am I? I am the I am factor, looking for myself. Magi. How do you do that? Magi, learning the secrets of this matrix. Boom. Then you have nation. A nation is a group of individuals that come together to form one particular bond, and under one particular a nation is under one law or a set of laws. That's what a nation is, right? All right. So I'm showing y'all this. I'm gonna flip this back around for y'all. Okay, that's what a nation is. Nation is a group of individuals who come together collectively to form one. Separate parts to form one. And they under a specific, the same specific laws. There's no laws for him and not for him, or her not for her, him not for him, them not for they. It's all the same. And a fair nation, a just nation. We are fragmented beings within ourselves. And within our fragmented self, we have to come together and go under these laws. And what law do we need to go under? Like I just said, light, air, water. Law. Light, air, water. LAW. We need to go under the law of the matrix. The science behind purple. Purple is red and blue. The same shades of red and blue mix. That's purple. Red is the female, blue is the male. When you mix them together, that's sexual union. Boom, you get that purple. That's the science behind purple. That's why purple is, it's not a primary color like red, blue, or yellow, but it is the divine color, and it's always been used to be a divine color. And this is why a lot of times you see purple and gold together, because you mix the red and blue. When you put the purple with the yellow next to it or the gold, you're getting all three colors. You're getting the three primary colors. That's the real secret behind mixing that red and that purple and gold. On top of that, you have the science behind your hair, how you, the stances that I showed you in other videos, what we call grounding, not earthing. Earthing is being without the shoes on the ground, getting energy from the earth specifically in a specific way. We're talking about grounding, where you plant yourself in a certain way with your feet stand in a certain way that it channels energy from above you, cosmos, into the earth, and from the earth through you into the cosmos, and it opens you up like a lake. You become a conduit. Okay, so who, getting your divine God name, different things of that nature. All these different things are part of the laws that govern the nation, or the parts of you, the different aspects of you. You are a multi-complex being, a multifaceted being, a multi-dimensional being, and all those parts need to work together under the same law. That's imagination. I, the self, the awareness, the realization that you are data, we are data. Am, that divine factor, that source, that which is the ultimate, that which we seek, the reason for this journey. Boom, my guy, that, or he, she or he, those that are adept masters of understanding this matrix. Nation, a separated group of beings who come together collectively, individuals who come together collectively to form a one coherent body under the same set of laws, under a law or laws. That is us. That's what the science. Now let's get into imagination. Imagination, just a little bit more. That's the breakdown to the words. What I'm trying to tell y'all is that imagination will save you. When we're young and we're bored, we have nothing to do, your parents could give you 2 straws, and you could play with those straws and pretend they're people. You could be like, oh, and have one straw talking to another, and be like, oh, this is Sonia and this is Carl, and you know, you'd be playing with the straws, having fun. When we get older, we be like, that's a straw. That can't be anything but a straw. When you're young, that same straw that was Sonia and Carl, 5 minutes later it could be a car. You could lay it on his flat, and or you could make it a horse. How did Sonia just become a car or a horse? Because you have the imagination to do that. That's why Sonia was able to do that. Why is Carl able to be an airplane? You just said that was Carl. It was a person. How was it an airplane? See, when you get older and you lose your imagination, you be like, it can only be what it is. It can't be anything but that. The truth of the matter is, through the science of imagination, we have the ability to bend elements. Because that's all a child is really doing. You're really just bending elements. You didn't change the straw from anything but a straw. And then later on, you take the same straw and you go drink a soda or juice, whatever. You might water, you know, whatever. I should have said water first, huh? But I don't know a lot of people that drink straws with water. That's why I didn't even think of that. But I don't know anybody that drinks straws with water. But For some reason, that's strange, but I never thought of that. Like, why don't people drink straws? Well, I've never seen anybody drink a straw, water with straws, with a straw. But anywho, you know, maybe in a restaurant with a cup, maybe, and some ice. Nah, I never even saw that. But anywho, so what I'm saying ultimately is this: when we have imagination, we're able to. This is why cartoons fascinate children, because the guy could be running, get blown up, boom, and then a few minutes later he's running around. If you blow, and well, I'll see, like, he's supposed to be dead. He's not supposed to be able to run around anymore. We are too limited. We believe in too much finality. Too much do we believe in finality. Like, we like, that's grass, and that's just grass. That's it. The reality is it could be more than that if we want it to be. It's not that it's not going to be grass. It's still going to be grass. A straw is still a straw. But we can utilize it for other things when we have an imagination. You could probably take that grass, if it's strong enough and it bends, you could make a belt loop out of it. I mean, not a belt loop. You could make a belt out of it and hold up your pants if you had to. If it's strong enough and it bends enough, you could use that piece of blade of grass to fan yourself. It can become a fan. It doesn't have to be one thing. That's the science behind imagination. Imagination allows us to break free. The system teaches you that things can be this and that's it. Nature doesn't teach you that. This is why things evolve into other things. So that over years and years and years and years of time, I'm talking about. So it can show you that that thing that you thought was that, or your ancestors thought was that, doesn't have to stay that. That's very, very important, people. The science behind us knowing that we evolve. Behind us knowing that mentally we can shift something from one thing to another. This is how we solve problems in everyday life. By being imaginative, we call it creative. Creative is another way of saying imagination. Creative is a version of the creator. Creative, if you change at the end with the IVE, is really creator. You put the OR in it, creator. That's all it really is. Creative is the quality or the ability of the creator. So if we are the creator, meaning the Most High, the source, what people call God with all caps, then we have the ability to change things from one thing to another as we want, as we see fit or need to. And that's the science that we lost. That's why it says in the Bible, you must become as children once again in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. We have to learn the art of imagination. A lot of times we be like, I talk to certain people in groups about things and they be like, oh, that's just crazy and ludicrous. My thing is entertain it though. People come to me and say some of the weirdest stuff ever. And they'll come and they'll be like, you know, I was a unicorn last night. I don't be like, oh, this person's crazy. I don't say that. I'll be like, I wonder why they're saying that. That's interesting. Why were you a unicorn last night? Oh, because I did this and I did that. Then they'll tell me I put a thing on my head and then I was just playing around. If I would have judged them, they're not crazy now. See, the whole thing is sometimes you got to hear it, even if they really believe that. Doesn't mean that they necessarily are crazy. It just means that they're using their imagination in a different way than I'm using their imagination. Because I have an idea what a unicorn is. So because I have that idea, I'm trying to impose that on them. Maybe they think a unicorn is something totally different. Maybe for me, a unicorn can't be a human being. But for them, it can. Now, don't get me wrong. Some things are what they are. And I'm not talking, a unicorn is a made-up idea anyway, so that's not a solid thing. But a tree is a tree is a tree is a tree. Yes, okay. But through our imagination, like I just said, I used it as a hammock. I laid on it without no cover, anything. And the first time I did, I just sat up there and just laid back and like, oh, it's like a bed. I made a tree into a bed, so now it's not a tree, it's a bed now. It's still a tree technically, but it's a bed. You can make that tree your hideout. We can make that tree into anything we want. We can make that tree into a ladder. We can climb it to get somewhere. We can make it our throne. We can go say, people call it the toilet bowl their throne. I'm going to sit on the porcelain throne. We have to stop limiting ourselves in our imagination. Society has taught us to be ashamed of having imagination when you're an adult. Once you reach adulthood, they was like, yo, you supposed to know what things are, and that's it. And if you say anything weird, we're gonna look at you like you're stupid and weird. We have to get out of that. We have to get out of doing that to people, and we have to get out of saying that, doing that to ourselves. Even if we don't share our knowledge with other people, we have to be willing to be creative. At the end of the day. Now, it's a difference between being creative in a space that doesn't hurt anyone and being creative in a way that hurt. If you go and you rig a bomb and say, oh, I'm going to rig this bomb and I'm going to let it go and I'm going to ignite it and it's just going to, you know, it's going to make rainbows everywhere and it's going to be peaceful and you ignite the bomb and it hurt people, that's a different story. As long as your imagination is helping and not harming, there's nothing wrong with it, because it's an ability, and abilities, you can do both. You can build or destroy with it. You can construct or destruct with it. You can give and you can take with it. Your imagination is that powerful. That's what this whole build is about. Imaginations. You have to know that you, the I, it starts with I. You have the right to have your imagination see things how you see things, as long as it's not infringing upon anyone else or hurting anyone else or disturbing anyone else's life. And I don't mean if I walk over here and I say, yo, that's my little bed right there. Somebody don't like that. They like, that's a tree, it's not a bed. And I'm offended them. That's not even a situation. I mean, realistically, you could say, well, don't tell them that because it's going to bother them. Cool. That's the most I could do. But at the end of the day, you don't have to stop having an imagination because other people don't. Imagination is not about lying. It's about the ability to look at something and see other things that it could be besides what you've been traditionally told that it is. We have to do, because in the next, in this shift coming, we're going to have the ability of imagination, because our thoughts are things. Our thoughts transform things into things. If you can only see things for what you've been told that they are, you're not going to be able to shift things into other things. And therefore, you're not going to have an ability that's necessary on the frequency that we're graduating to. Let's call it graduating. That's very important. The frequency we're graduating to does not welcome people with limited abilities. You're gonna have to open. That's why it has the I, which is EYE, which is I also the self. Open that mind, that I, and begin to use it, and stop limiting other people from using theirs. If somebody's pedaling on a regular pedal bike and they like, this is my motorcycle, vroom, 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 they haven't figured out, oh, they childish. He's 40 years old. What is he going, vroom, vroom, vroom on a bike? That's what he wants to do. He's not hurting anybody. Let that person have their imagination. Let them enjoy their imagination. It is a motorcycle for them. And you say, well, the rest of the world, it doesn't matter. It's no big deal. There's no harm in it being a motorcycle for them. You say, well, it can't go that fast. But there's no real, they don't have a light. None of that matters. It's not harming anybody by being a motorcycle. It's the same thing. If a child, if a person want to get in the tub and act like they sit there, they're like, oh, I'm in the tropics, I'm in Cancun somewhere, but you really in the middle of Virginia somewhere, you know, in your house. What's the big deal about them having an imagination? If a person want to lay there and just, oh, I'm in, you know, Tahiti somewhere in a steam bath, and they really in their bathroom, okay, they have the right. It's not just okay. It's necessary for them to have that kind of imagination, because in the upgrade, when you have that kind of imagination, you're gonna be able to sing yourself there literally. We're gonna get to a point where our thoughts are going to be able to manifest themselves in real time. We haven't gained that ability yet because we have so many dark and negative thoughts that we was manifesting. People be dying left and right and getting hurt left and right and being violated left and right and stuff. So we're not going to unlock that until we get rid of that mentality of damaging each other over selfishness. Because a lot of you being mad at a person saying that they in Tahiti is because you don't feel that you have the right or the freedom to express yourself like that, or you don't feel like that, so you're not happy. You don't want anybody else to be happy, or people are not happy and they don't want you to be happy. Be happy, please. Be happy. Do your thing and enjoy. You're here to enjoy this as you're decoding this. They trying to put that negative frequency on this live, that siren frequency. They can't stop us. Nothing can stop this build. The frequency, ignore that frequency. It's all good. See, that right there is a song. The imagination, that's a song. And that's a soothing song. I'm putting the imagination out there. Now, the more people you get to agree with your imagination, the more you can have fun. Because if you're playing by yourself and you're pretending that the straws are horses racing, and other people come and they don't see that, they're not gonna play with you. Or you're gonna argue when you play. Or you interact. It's not even, when you're children, we call it playing. We're adult, we call it interaction. It's all playing, really, if you really want to know the truth. I don't care if you're 80 years old, it's all playing. Like, when you go to work, you're playing. When you take care of your thing, you're playing. It's all, it's called something different because they want to cut us off from our youthfulness. That's key. We have to keep your child alive. You should be an adult child. Your child just grows up, but it never loses itself. Because think about it. The body you have now is different, but it's really not different than the body you had as a child. Obviously, it's different. I'm not